it's Kayla.
I ordered my bullet journal for 2020, and it is a oh, you can't even tell. It's a Scribbles That Matter, and it's a A5 size. I think it's the Pro. Here's, and it's charcoal. I'm so excited. I was screaming it a little bit earlier. Here's what it has. Here are just the pages. I'm so excited. And as everyone will tell you at the end, there's the pen test. There's a pocket here. Yeah, they're right. It's like very close to the spine of the book. But I don't really care. I love it. And it has that new journal smell. And it came in this box. And you put like the spine of it right in here. And it looks really cute. But anyways, I'm so excited to start this. I have a little less than a month though, but I cannot wait. It looks a little green in this lighting, but it's gray. Okay, I just traced it, and you can sort of see it, and I'm just gonna go over this with some white paint pen. And is this upside down? It is. This is the pen I use to do this. It's so cute. I love it. I also added this. It was my roommate's suggestion. So we have our 2020 bullet journal. Alright, so welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to set up my 2020 bullet journal and January monthly setup as well. And here I'm beginning by writing my name. And honestly guys, like, I don't know, 2020 would be the third year, I think, that I'm bullet journaling, which is kind of crazy. So here's the first real spread that I'm setting up, and these 2 pages serve as more of motivation for me for 2020. So on the left hand side, I am writing the 4 agreements, and I saw this piece, I think on Society 6. It was a piece of art, and I wanted to put it in my bullet journal, so I just recreated it. And the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best. And I read this book a while ago. It's a really good book. If you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend it. Kind of changed my life. But I just want to have the 4 agreements in my journal at all times, notebook, whatever you want to call it, to just remind me to be a better person. And then on the right hand side, I'm drawing a big blue footprint. And if you don't know, I go to UNC, and our like mascot is Rams / like Tar Heels. Something we say a lot at school is "heal yeah," which is like hell yeah. and that's the kind of mood I want to have for 2020, you know, just like hell yeah, you know, except heel because Tar Heels. Alright, and then I put a piece of paper so that way the white gel pen wouldn't transfer onto the other page. And here I'm just writing my calendar out, my future log, you know, starting off by writing the days of the week and the numbers for each of the calendars underneath it. Something really different that I do that some other people don't do is that I like to start my weeks on Mondays, and I just decided to put them all on the same page or 2 pages, you know, the same spread, just because I honestly don't really write that much in the sections and I don't use the future log too often, so I didn't want to take up too much space with it. Here I am drawing out my schedule, and something I found myself doing a lot in 2019 was making an hourly schedule, but every day, so I kind of knew what I would be doing at what time. It just helped me when I felt really overwhelmed and had a lot to do. So I'm color coding. The gray means work because I do also work outside of, you know, taking classes. And then all my classes are color coded. Now the background has changed because I set up the first section at my dorm, in my dorm, or at school, and this is at home, and I don't have any fancy setup stuff at home, so I literally just laid my tripod on my bed, and so that way it would be hanging off my bed to focus on the floor anyways. So on the left side, I'm trying out the grid spacing chart that Amanda Rachel did, but obviously I messed up a bunch because I'm not the best at math. But so just ignore that. I understand what I did, but it won't make sense to people. Anyways, and then on the right hand side, I am going to do a Polaroid setup because I have a printer, because after I sold my camera, and I just thought it'd be fun to, you know, print out more pictures and actually use the printer that I paid a lot of money for. Alright, so that is all I did for my general setup for 2020. Alright, so on to the January setup. I'm starting off by just saying it's the 20s again. So obviously I had to do, you know, the not cliche sort of 1920s Art Deco theme that Plant-Based Bride has done and Amanda Lee has done at this point. I don't know who else has done it now. But yes, on this left I started off with doing a quote page, and I wrote "A little party never hurt or never killed anybody." Can't believe I messed it up. But it's one of my favorite songs to dance to on Just Dance, and it really just, you know, I wanted to embrace like the party vibe, also because I'm going to be going to a 1920s party in 2020. So that's going to be really exciting. But, you know, kind of just getting out of my box, being more social, stuff like that. Anyways, and then on the right-hand side, I wanted to do sort of a white and gold wallpaper sort of look. And so I looked up an Art Deco print, and I'm just recreating it. Honestly, doing this entire monthly setup kind of taught me that I'm really bad at math even though I have dots and a ruler. I don't know, but I can't really explain this pattern that well. Basically, you draw like cross-hatched diamonds, and then you go halfway on one side and halfway on the other side, and then there you go. But for this spread, I am using a gold paint pen from the brand Craftsmart, because your girl's too broke to afford Sharpie. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here. And then on top, I decided to write out the word January, and then underneath it I wrote 2020 after. And then something kind of interesting about this is that the Crayola super tip I used, it went right on top of the gold, so it kind of looked almost woven, which I kind of ended up liking. So here I'm setting up my monthly calendar, even though it's not an actual calendar. And this I took from Plant-Based Bride. I saw her drawing these diamonds, and I thought it was a really cool concept, because if you think about it, you can write on both sides, and since a diamond is not, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not just one line, it takes up 2 lines, so each day you actually have 4 lines to write stuff, or 4, because each side has 2 lines. Let me know if that made sense to you. I don't know how to explain it. But here I had the biggest struggle of my life trying to write on top of this, and I think if you want to recreate this, use a black paint pen of some sort, because I've tried all my pens, all my markers, even Sharpies, and Sharpies would not write on top of the paint pen. It took me way too long to do this, honestly. So yeah, maybe try getting black paint and just painting on top of it or something. And then I decided to add a more decorative element, and my head covered up most of the shot, but essentially I just drew these semicircles, and then drew maybe 3 lines out from each of them, and just continued the pattern to look very scalloped. And then on the left hand side, I'm just writing the word monthly in the Andes font on dafont.com. So on this page, I wanted to do a bookshelf, because I realized I never made a books to read or reading log of any sort in the first portion of the video, and I kind of wanted to read more books this year, so I decided why not throw the bookshelf in for a decorative element. And I looked up 1920s bookcase and bookshelf to kind of get this squiggly sort of design. I don't know if I did the best job at this, but it's okay, you know? It's better than what I can usually do. So, after the bookcase, I originally wanted to do a chandelier, but I thought that was a bit ambitious. So instead I did another wallpaper print. And it's these teardrop curved shapes, but they're in triangles. Yeah, I really don't know how to explain it, but if you just look up some patterns and stuff, there's a lot of inspiration you can take from it. And then my pen started dying, so I just really pushed hard to try to get as much paint as possible out, because at this point it was I want to say maybe 1 in the morning, and I really did not want to go to Michael's to buy another set. So yeah, also if you guys see me switching shirts a lot throughout this video, it's because this video took maybe 3 or so days to film, because I didn't have any straight filming time. I just had a lot of stuff going on. But yes, I'm just filling all of this in. And then for the bookshelf, I was going to go with a darker wood for a second, but then I decided to go with a lighter one. And I kind of like the way the lighter one looks, because the other one looked almost black. I just colored that in, and then I went in and just outlined all the books. And honestly, it's kind of small. If you have any book recommendations, let me know. I ended up having 24 books, so that's about 2 books a month. And then on the right hand side, I'm just setting up my weekly. And since I like to start on Mondays, I decided to do December, I think 30th, because that's when things are happening for me. So the week of December 30th is when I'm going to be setting up the first week of the January setup. And I just did these like sideways inverted arches with triangles at the top. Again, don't really know how to explain what I'm doing. Drawing, I think they're called concentric semicircles in each. And then I, after doing this, wrote in the first letter of each day in the top semicircle part. And then I wrote in the number of the day in the triangle with my white gel pen. And that showed up pretty well after going over it a little bit. And that's honestly all I did. I went a little bit hard on this one. A lot more decorative and fun than I usually make mine, I think. But I think it turned out really nice, and I'm really proud of it. Well, hope you guys enjoyed.